And what is up, everybody? Jeremy here, excited to bring to you another Starfield Creation Kit tutorial video. This is tutorial number 18. We're going to go over factions a little bit more. We're going to talk about crime, just a quick overview on that, and then we're going to dive into reactions, combat AI reactions. So that's what we're going to do today. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as everything does help out. And beyond that, guys, if you're getting into the creation kit for the very first time, make sure you check out the beginning of this tutorial series. It will help you get set up, get started, and you'll be able to create your very first creation in about 20 to 30 minutes based on the tutorial and how it's set up, which is great because it took about 8 hours for me to figure out and get my first creation going. But yes, let's get into the tutorial. So what we're going to do today, we're going to set up a combat area first so we can do all these tests. We have a danger room in this tutorial, but yeah, just FYI, the data that we're using is the same one that we've done before. It's going to be the asset master 001, and that will have the parent masters of starfield.esm and sfbgs006.esm. I'm at a place where I'm wondering, should I just include all the default ESMs just to load that up? But I don't know. I'm guessing it's much faster just to load up just the bare minimum, but who knows? Maybe it might be a good idea. I don't know. Maybe. I'll look that up sometime. But let's continue. It's working the way it's working. That's all I'd say. All right, so we are going to create a new room. So we have the danger room over here. We need to create another room. So let's create another practice area for our tests and what we're going to do today. So I'm clicking on this. I'm right clicking here and going to say, let's remove or replace the pack-in with grouped references. So I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in. There you go. Group references. Boom. You have chosen yes, and hit yes. And then this is now a grouped reference, right? And you can see it down here. All these items are selected. So if you don't want to ungroup it, another cool way is like, I just want to edit this individual piece. I can just double click on it, right? It'll pull up the reference, click out of it, and click back into the window. And now you will see that this piece is the only one selected. I'm going to hold Alt and start scrolling my wheel to just start finding a socket. I want a socket. So that's a socket right there, a place for a door. So release, there you go. We have our socket. Now I want to have a plug in here. So let's get a plug going on. I'm going to do a search down here for industry. So IND asterisk PLUG for plug. And I have all these options. Wait, did I put in IND? Yeah, I did. So room plug A00. I think it's A02 that I want. So I want A02 and bring it in here. I am going to lock in my rotation. It's locked in already. So that's there. And lock in my grids. So there. Boom. Is that the right? No. I mean, you reverse it. Holding Z. So I can reverse it. There you go. Put that in. A. So there we go. We got the plug, and now let's add in the door. So I've learned a lot more. I definitely learned a lot. So IND D00 or D0000 DOOR for door. We are going to find one. So yeah, door. It's going to be this icon here. I want to use one that's based on loading. All right. So the difference between loading and unloading, or not loading, or just standard, is that this one, it doesn't open all the way and you can't see through it. So like some of the other doors, they have like a window right here, so you can see that something is behind it. You don't have to do that. So I'm just going to use a standard door that just barely opens but doesn't reveal what's going on. And that says, the load option says, or tells me that I want to go into load in to another cell. So there you go. So we have loaded this. I'm going to double click on this and put it in a reference here. So this is good practice to do as well. Is like for doors, if you're not editing the base, give it a reference so you know what it is. So this one's going to be danger room entrance, or I should say exit, because you're going back into the 3x3x1, or I should say this should be the combat room, combat practice room. Let's call it that because there's already a danger room. So there you go. We're gonna hit OK. Down there. And are you sure you want to rename this? Yes. Yes, I do. Because I'm just changing the reference ID. So there you go. We set the door up. You set the door, and what we're going to do is we're just going to go down into our cells, and what we're going to do now is just duplicate the danger room that we have down here. So I'm just going to right click on this, and I have the option to duplicate cell. Let's duplicate it, and I'm going to rename it. So I'm going to click once and just click twice. That goes to good a name. Or if you want to just set the name or force the name, hit F12, or not hit F10. It's F10. Hit F10. No. F12. Let's hit F1. I don't know anymore, man. Is it 0? There was another key here that I can force the rename, but if you can't do it, just you have options. I'm just gonna click once and let the default. I know there's a key for it, but anyway, I want to call this the combat room or combat practice room. I don't know. I don't know. Let's do it. Let's leave it at that. Let's also give it a location. So we already have the locations loaded up. So I'm just gonna do. This is the location of the practice room. I'm just gonna double click on this and change this to be the combat room. Combat room, and up here, Copernicus combat location. There you go. Hit return. It's going to ask me for a new form, and hit yes. That's fine. So the other option, create a new form. It's loading it up. Create it. Create it. There. All right. Okay, so let's go back into the combat practice room. Let's hit right click and hit edit, and then let's make sure we set the location. So here we are zooming out. This is what window we popped up, and I'm going into the common data tab, location, set that to J Ramos work. So I wish I could just type in to go directly to where it is, but I can't do it here. Like it just starts saying, hey. But yeah, anyway, I'll go with it. I usually like I try to type in this, and it'll if I type that in, it'll automatically do that. So I'm just hitting no. So yeah, so you have to drag in or search for it this way. All right, so we have that interior data. It should be using the location as name. Perfect. All right, cool. We're good. There you go. So let's go ahead and edit the new combat practice room. So this is a duplicate of what we have here. We're going to delete all these guys. So I don't have layers set up in this room. Which could be a good idea. All right, delete. And we need to add a nav mesh in this one. We didn't add a nav mesh to the previous one, and this one's pretty easy to do. It's a basic square, so we don't really have to use a customization piece. We can easily use the nav automatically, or the automatic nav mesh generator. So let's go put in a nav. Let's type in nav asterisk seed to get our nav mesh seed marker. Just put it close to the front of the door. Then we're going to go up into our nav mesh creator and hit this question mark for the generation dialog, and keep this basic settings. Hit OK. Generating, it generated. So this happens all the time, right? Where it makes everything black, which I don't like. So, and if you want to get out of it, just turn off and on your markers, and it'll show where the world is really like. Your full cell. All right, so what we're going to do now is just optimize balance for optimization in the nav mesh window. Did it, and then hit finalize current cells nav meshes. Oh, that was fast. All right, and then hit save. Hey, all right, now we have a brand new room. So the first of this test is we're going to play around with location-based faction settings to determine, hey, should I not attack you, should I attack you, or warn you? So let's do that. How do we do that? Well, one, okay, let's make sure I have all the guys in here. So let me put in JRAM asterisk NPC. Let's put in one of our soldiers in here. We're going to put in the security right here. Okay. And this is based on location, how they react to you, specifically you at a location. So I have 3 different locations here. And so this is the first one. So this is the combat room. What I'm going to do is go back, show my location. So JRAM asterisk location. So you have, and actually I'll do practice. I'll put in practice in here, filter out practice, asterisk. So JRAM asterisk practice, asterisk location. So these are the 3 rooms that we have in here. I'm missing one. Which one doesn't have location on it? External. One int combat danger. What? I forget to practice facility. Int practice facility. Oh, I misspelled location. Let's make it right. Okay. Rename the object. Yes. Set to rename. So no. Yes, creates a new one. No, just renames it. All right. There we go. All right, so there we go. Practice and then asterisk locate or loca. So there we go. These are the 4 locations. The ones we're going to change are going to be the combat location, one right here, int, and the top one, which is the external. So the external, just for reference, it's going to be, just show you which one it is. Practice facility, and it's, oops, it's this guy. So what we want to do is define location settings. So the external one is going to be a public area, so even though it's owned by a faction, they won't attack you. The second area, the second one that's interior, that will say, it'll just have no settings at all, just connect to the faction, and they will warn you that you're trespassing, and they'll tell you to leave. And the last one, that combat area that we just created, that is a completely off-limit zone. So if they see you, they'll attack you on sight. So this is one way to set up combat or reactions to you. So right now, I'm neutral to the combat faction. So if I look at one of the soldiers here, so the NPC is 001, security is 00, or security is 001, look at their factions, right? Double click on their factions, so the Ramtech faction, you'll see that in the interfaction relations, there's nothing here. So if you're not on their list, they'll consider you to be just, the default is neutral. So if I, just FYI, let's just set up, just randomly, you have an option to ally, be a friend, neutral, or enemy. If you're not listed, the default's just neutral. Nothing. You're not an enemy, you're not a friend, an ally. And also, I'll say this, and we'll show it to you later. It's probably a good idea to have one interfaction relation of itself to be allies, because right now they're looking at each other and they see each other as neutral as well. So I thought that was interesting. But okay, so location-based interactions at the top level. Copernicus, the external piece. We're gonna make this. We're gonna go in here, faction. JRAM works, and then Ramtech faction, and we're gonna make this area a public area. Okay. We're also going to just show you. We're going to set up can't wait. So if you have this, if you have the can't wait option selected, that means if you sit on a chair, you don't have an option to wait. Or if you try to sleep in a bed, it won't allow you to sleep in a bed. All right. So those are the 2 things that will happen. So let's do that here. Hit OK. Now let's go back into the interior. So there's another way to get to the location. If you're just like, all right, where's the location? I don't get it. I can't find it right now. So if you have a hard time finding the specific location, so let's go to the 3x3x1. So this one, we're going to set it up. Whoa. I'm so, okay. So in this location, we're going to set it up to be to not be public. It's just going to have the faction set. So if I right click on this and hit edit, it'll bring up the cell properties right here. And up here, you can see what the location is. So if you're in that place, like, all right, what's the location of this cell? And if you look at all the other cells out there, it's probably a good idea to set up the location. Probably a good idea to set up the location for whatever it is. Okay, just FYI, it's probably a good idea, or what it's associated to. Now this one, Jeff, another FYI, I kind of did this for every single room. Notice how, yeah, so see the location, Lance Estate, House of whatever. So yeah, they do that. So wait, where was mine? I clicked out of it just to show you. All right, it's this one. No, is it this one? It's not that one. It's this one. Combat practice room. No, not that one. Jeez, Jeremy. Practice facility danger room. All right, this is one. I noticed that this doesn't have a name. Oh, I don't. Okay. So interior data, use location as name. Common data. Let's edit the location. So we can go here to edit the location. Click on the dots here. Pull up that window. So zoom out. That's what it looks like. And then what we're doing is setting up the faction. The Ramtech faction. And I'm not going to set up public area off limits or can't wait. So what this means, and this is funny, I also have the set up as a player house. But what this means is that the NPCs in here are going to warn me that I shouldn't be in here before they attack me. So that's the behavior that's set when you have it off, when you don't have public area and you have a faction. So let's hit OK. Hit OK here. And so funny thing, this guy likes to do stuff. He likes to actually work in the sandbox area, so he might not notice me right away. So I'm just going to put in another security guard right here. All right, right here. So he's a marker because there's a template associated to him. Let's hit save. And we need one more. Let's go back. Let's go to combat practice room. We have a marker here. Oh, I need to do one more other thing too. Wait, is this the right room? Oh, I forgot to set up the door. Okay, so we'll set up the door real quick too. So combat practice room is right here. The location is right here. I already have it set. We already looked it up. So this one, faction, Ramtech faction, and this is going to be an off-limits area. Hit OK. And now I need to make sure I connect the door. So that's one part I forgot in the building this area. I'm going to remove this door. I'm going to add in the IND asterisk door asterisk A01 asterisk load. There it is. So we have this guy here. And I need that plug. I forgot the plug. So IND plug asterisk A01, I think it was. Yeah. Let's do internal. Oh, it's a different one. It's fine. Is it flush? So, yeah, that's good enough. Right? No, it's not. It's not. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. All right. So I forgot to create the door for this area. So double click on the door. Let's connect it to the 3x3x1 room that we have inside. So it loaded up. So here's what it looks like. And then what I'm going to do is go hit the teleport tab. And hit teleport. And we could either open up the other window, do the select reference, but we know what cell it's in. So it's a 3x3x1. And then the reference, we have that door name, the combat practice room exit. Perfect. And we could give this room name here, do combat practice room entrance. Yes. Now when you do that, it's going to create a new marker. And for some reason, it puts it like right there. I don't understand that. So this marker is when you enter for the very first time, it'll tell you where you start and where you're facing. So let's face it inside. And that means you also need to go back to the 3x3x1. And see, there's the marker right there. Say, nope. Set like right there. Perfect. And let's move this guy just a little bit. It's a very small room. It's a very small room. Okay, cool. So let's save it. Let's double check our work real quick. So number 1, Copernicus location. This is external. You should have Ramtech faction. Public area, can't wait, so you can't sit in a chair. Combat or Copernicus interior location. This one's set to faction, but nothing is set in terms of public area, off limits, or can't wait. So what they'll do is they should warn you that you shouldn't be in this area. And then the combat location, this is an off limits area. So that means that if you go in there, they'll start attacking you right away. So no warning, they'll start attacking you. So let's hit save. And let's load up the game. Let's fast forward. Let's go. Okay, so we loaded up. Let's go ahead and fly over here. So this is the public area for this faction. So they shouldn't attack me. They're not reacting to me. Good, good, good. Hello. All right, let's go inside. Now this area, they should start reacting to me and start warning me that I shouldn't be in here. Currently trespassing, yes. But they're busy.
Hey!
There you go.
You're not supposed to be here.
So they'll warn me, and at a certain point, they'll start attacking me. So I'm just going to go to the other room. And this guy starts attacking me already. This guy's... they have a lot of good weapons. Yeah. So they got me. So that guy has a lot of good weapons. But yeah, there we go. Test 1. So yeah, there you go. Successful. So you saw that this guy will warn you and eventually attack you. No, he didn't. Wait till he attacks you. Let's do that. Let's do that one time. Yeah, let's go to the point where they attack you. All right, fast forward. All right, we're back in. Let's go ahead and go into interior. Let this guy warn you and just show that they will eventually attack you too.
What are you doing in here?
What?
Leave now, or else.
Or else what? What? What you got, huh? You want to move me? It's a long reaction. I think it's 10 seconds. Maybe 20 seconds.
You're dead! I don't think... I'm not gonna...
Thanks, buddy. So this guy's busy doing push-ups.
Excuse me?
Huh.
Don't make me kill
Oh, there he goes. Now he's like, oh. Thank you, armament.
Real bad.
All right. Anyway, so there you go. So warn you and eventually attack you. Now, there's some interesting things here that you could do here too. So let's say that I didn't set these locations. Right? So, okay, so 1. This is the combat room, and let's say it's not off limits, and there's no faction here. So it's just set to none. Okay? So what's interesting is that it should take the parent location information. Let's hit save. Let's see how that works out. All right, they're in here, so we're at the top level. So this is a public area. We go inside, so we should get a warning. So there's the warning spot, just in case.
What are you doing in here?
Yeah, it's a warning, and then go into this other room. It should inherit the parent.
You need to leave now.
So yeah, this guy is inherited the parent.
This is your last warning. Leave now.
All right, so that's what happened. So yeah, if you have the location and it has a parent location. The parent location was that interior room, and you have no faction here and no other settings here, it will inherit the faction and the other parameters of the parent. Now let's say this interior room. Let's try this out, or let's go to interior. The interior room. This is a theory because this is also the parent of the exterior. So the parent location is that exterior location. If I remove the faction here, hit that none, it should inherit what's happening from the parent. So this should now be set as a public area, because if you look at the parent, you know, as the public area is checked and can't wait is checked. So now I shouldn't be able to sleep in this room. Let's find out. I actually haven't tried this. Let's find out. Alright, we're in. So the idea here is that these guys shouldn't attack me. I'm still trespassing. Hey.
Hey, you're not supposed to be here.
Okay.
Leave.
Alright, so what does that mean? So what that means is that it only inherited the faction parameter. It didn't inherit the public area or off limits or can't wait parameter. We didn't. Oh yeah. So yeah. Yes. It inherited this. So if we remove the faction now. So yeah, so you'll see that ownership is going to be inherited by the children, but the public area off limits and can't wait, those are not inherited. How can we test this? We did. We just tested it. We'll do one more test. Yeah, let's do one more test. So what we're going to do is go into the interior location. So we already set this to none. We're just going to set this to off limits, just to give you the other extreme of it. So this one set the public area can't wait faction. Let's go ahead and remove this to none. Okay. So one more test. Let's try the opposite side. So this is can't off limits, no faction. All right, and then the combat location. Off limits, like then this is set, faction is not set. All right, so the idea here, if this is what we're understanding, top level, public area, there's no faction set, you're fine. You go down here, it's considered off limits, but it's not associated to a faction. So my gut is will say that these guys will try to attack me. Or will they? Because there's no faction set. We'll find out. And then if the can't wait or the attack is definitely apparent, if I go into the other room, then that guy will not attack me at all. Let's find out. Let's find out. Let's test all these guys. Alright, we're in. So let's go ahead and see what happens. This one's just set to like off limits, but the faction is not set. Let's find out what happens.
Excuse me?
Nothing.
Yes.
Okay. So interesting. Okay, so you need to have a faction set, so otherwise they don't know. Okay, so we understand what moves down, what doesn't move down. So this combat location, or not combat location, that interior. Interior. These guys need to have something set. But wait, can we have can't wait? I'm guessing can't wait will probably work. So you need to have a section or a faction to deal with that. And of course, if you have an NPC that you wanted to say, hey, I own this. It's like, I own this. Which is... Does that work? No, I don't know. I want to see. So let's say, does security internal own it? I'm guessing that's the same. Would that work the same way? And if that's the case... But yeah, so this guy has a faction too. Let's find out. Let's see. I haven't tried this before. So let's fast forward. Okay, let's find out. We're in. So there should be an NPC, one specific NPC. It's not this guy, right? Oh, maybe it's this guy. It's you, right?
Hello.
No? Is it you?
Yes, what?
They're too busy.
Excuse me.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
I'm trespassing. Okay.
Yes. Leave.
There you go. It's like he had to get out of his little thing. But what about you?
Yes, what?
So he doesn't care. He doesn't
My
care.
patience has run out.
It's kind of funny. Like they have a late reaction just because they're doing certain other things. Stay in front of an armament. He should be attacking me now. Or I wonder if they have a different radius. So like, all right, he's staying in front of me. It's like, now that my counter is going on. There you go. Oh.
I don't think I'm not gonna.
All right, so there we go. You could set it to NPCs too. So same concept, just to specific NPC. And the faction, so this guy didn't get involved. Only the NPC got involved. So that was interesting. All right. Now we know. So if you go in here now, it's like this guy's probably, hey, I don't care. Because he's not the internal dude.
Excuse me.
He's a standard security guide. So he's different NPC base. Why can't you walk? Huh, interesting. He's stuck in the wall. So maybe I need to get that, move my entrance out. Alright, maybe, let's see. It's like seeing some other things to learn about. So yeah, he started further out. So can you follow me now? You can follow me now. Yeah, okay, there you go. Perfect. Alright, now we know. Cool. So now let's get into more of the nitty gritty. Let me change this up first. Let me change this up. So this one is going to be none. None. And sure, I'll put the I'll leave the can't wait up there just to show you that you can't sleep in the bed. Combat location. So let's talk about factions and interfaction relations. So that's the next part, and how that relates to combat. Or reactions to combat, or some guy's going to attack. So this is the internal, so no faction, no NPC. Let's set the faction to... yeah, let's see what happens. I want to show you what happens. So let's go. It's going to be the faction, the Ramtech faction. Hit OK. And then let's go into the combat practice room. And what we're going to do is move this guy up here. Turn him around. All right. So the next piece I'm going to add in here is going to be a new practice robot. So there's a practice robot, and if we go, they have no faction set to it yet. But if you go to AI data, this is everything that it relates to combat, or how it relates to other people. So you have reaction radius behavior, you have AI attributes, you have fleet settings. So these are three main things you look at. Let's zoom in. So if you want to understand aggression, just the best way to do it is just mouse over it. So there you go. You have 4 different settings. Unaggressive, aggressive, very aggressive, or frenzied. So unaggressive, this guy will not initiate combat. Aggressive, he will attack enemies on sight. Very aggressive will attack enemies and neutrals on site, and frenzied will attack anyone on site. So what is this referring to? So we go to factions. I'm going to add a new faction here. I'm going to add Ramtech faction. I'm going to create a new faction real quick. That's what I'm doing. Ramtech practice robot combat. Yeah, let's do that. Is it okay? Create a new form. Yes. So then we can remove the Ramtech faction, add in the practice robot combat faction. Oh, I wanted to create a new robot too. So let's do a new robot combat room robot. All right. There, let's hit OK real quick to create a new form. Hit yes. Okay. Let's go back to, now we have the combat room robot. Perfect. All right. So this was talking about. You have these factions and how, or interfaction relations, and how, what kind of group combat reaction will have. So right click, hit new. So robot. So it's just an interesting thing. Even if they're part of the same faction, they're not considered allies or whatever. They're at default, they're considered neutral. And we'll show that in a little bit, what that means. But let's say that we want to make the, what's it called? Ramtech faction. You want to make these guys an enemy. Oops, like enemy right here. Hit enemy. Okay? And if that's the case, and it's AI data, right? If you mouse over this, unaggressive will not initiate combat. That means if this was the only thing that was determining if this guy should attack or not, this guy will not initiate combat because he's unaggressive. However, if I want him to attack the enemies based on the AI attributes, if I had him set to aggressive, he will attack that enemy. He'll attack that soldier. Very aggressive, attack neutral, like I said. So, based on the faction, you have those options. Are you an ally, friend, neutral, or enemy? Okay. And if AI data, this is what it'll do. Frenzied, attack anyone on site. So if you are a friend or an ally, frenzied will attack that person. Very aggressive will attack enemies and neutrals on site. So there you go. Everyone, as of now, if you have no one in that faction set, right here, this once again, going back to the factions, if you have no one on here, everyone is considered neutral. So let's go ahead and cancel out of this and hit OK. Let's go back to the AI data. You also have another option here. I mean, outside of flee settings, you have the flee settings, of course, like how far should I flee? Once I flee to a safe spot, how long am I considered in a safe spot? So they'll basically sit in place for a long time. How long before I'm safe before I do something else? Chance of diversion animation. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, actually. I'm guessing you, instead of running away, you might do something else. So I don't know. I'll say that. I don't know. But here it is. This is the important part. In terms of combat, reaction radius behavior. So if this guy will attack you if you are like right in front of him. And if you exit, then they won't attack you anymore. Number of reactions. So let's dive into this one. Reaction radius behavior. This one will attack, and your reaction target are enemies and neutrals. So this is interesting because I didn't understand this at first until I realized, oh, it's a grouping. So I was thinking, it's like, what's a player neutral? What's a player enemy? What's a enemy is neutral? So what they did is they have one, they can react to a specific player, their enemies or neutral targets, or the combination of player, neutral, enemies, targets, or players or neutral targets. Player target or enemies target or enemies or neutral target. So that's what these are. I was confused about this. Like, I know, it's like, what is a player neutral? I don't understand that. But essentially they're combining it. So what this is saying is that it will attack both enemies and neutral targets. So there you go. And you have keyword reference, like this is interesting too. So link reaction primitive attack. So they determine like what kind of attack they should be using. This doesn't really have to be set, But yeah, that's a reaction center override. Specific reference is are they supposed to be doing it in a certain cell? Cooldown timer after after the person exits, right? Exits the radius, which is 0. So this one, they got to be in front of their face for this reaction behavior to set off. But if you exit 0, how long does it take for them to cool off? And this one says right away. All right, so this is attack. The attack option, right? Yeah, zoom out real quick. So yeah, this is the attack option. Let's cancel out. You have also warning attack, even though this is at 0. So I'm not sure why they have all 3 of them here at the same time. But yeah, this is the better one because this one establishes that, hey, I'm going to warn you if you're within 20 meters, or is that 20 grid spots? I'm not sure what the actual unit distance is. How many times I'm going to react before I start doing something, and that's 0. So yeah, anyway, it's just going to be, because like you're just doing warning. Exit radius. If you go beyond 25, then you're out of my warning area. All right. So, and this is what it did. So this one is, of course, if you get closer, all right, now I'm going to warn and attack you. How many times am I going to react? 0. So that means after a warning, I'm going to most likely attack you. Exit, same thing. So if you get in within 10, it'll start warn and attack. If you exit 15, it'll go back to warn. Because, yeah, basically you have 3 different radiuses getting closer to the enemy or to this target. Enemy is neutral. It will attack you if you're within 4. Exit radius, if you go to 10, then it'll go to attack and warn, and so forth like that. So max hertz numbers to animate, that means if you have other NPCs around you of the same type, then they'll be like kind of alerted to attack you as well. So that's how it works. Yeah, that's generally it, right? That's all that I know thus far. So this is the interesting thing. Once again, it's attacking both enemies and neutral. So what we're gonna do for now is I'm gonna remove this guy and give you an idea what happens, because this is the interesting thing, right? I haven't set their faction up so that they're allies of each other or friends of each other. So these two are going to attack each other even though they're part of the same faction. So let's take a look-see. Let's save it and show you what happens. All right, we're in. Let me actually go in and do a save right here.
Yes, what?
Do a quick save. All right, cool. All right, now we're entering. So now, see that? They're attacking each other because they're essentially neutral to each other. What are you doing?
All circuits reporting unknown warnings. Fatal.
Oh yeah, because I'm neutral too. So they were fighting each other and they saw me in here coming in as neutral. So yeah, so this is funny. So what you need to do is, if they're attacking both enemies and neutral based on their combat behavior, then we need to edit their faction to say that they're also both allies. So robot, so they're going to be allies or friends. So yeah, they're going to be allies to each other. So that's another interesting thing, right? Based on their behavior, they're not set. They're to themselves. They're not allies. So they're going to attack each other. So let's go ahead and save and see what happens now. So now they should attack me because the player is still considered neutral.
What?
Okay, so we're back in. Let's go inside and see that they shouldn't be attacking each other anymore. Awesome, but they still see me as a neutral target. I'm still a neutral target. So if they notice me, they should start attacking me. So let me go get close and see. They should start with warning me first.
This area is off limits. You need to leave.
Okay, I get closer.
You need to leave this area immediately.
And he should start attacking soon.
You need to leave. I will not warn you again.
And once he starts attacking me, the other robot should start attacking me too.
You need to leave this area.
Am I still in the warning area?
I am opening
There
fire.
you go. You got it. So yeah, and then both of them start attacking.
Sensors are not responding. Error.
Okay, cool. So there we go. So that's the radius behavior and the faction in place. So remember, they're like if they're not set as allies, they're considered neutral in their faction. So I thought that was really interesting to see, but it makes sense. So here we go. We're gonna now go into other relations. Okay, so we're gonna remove this. We're gonna move all this. So it's like yeah, we're gonna just move all that. We're going to focus on this now. So they're considered unaggressive, so they're not going to initiate any combat. I'm going to bring in the other NPC, the Ramtech NPCs. We're going to bring in internal. So internal, security internal, they're unaggressive as well. Confidence is average. All right, so we're going to bring them in. All right, this room is also considered a owned by this faction, right? So the combat room. So you saw that I was trespassing, but there's no one to kind of enforce the trespass. So this one is. So we have none of these set. The public area off limits and can't wait are not set, but the faction is set. So interesting thing that this faction that we saw here, this piece only relates to you as the player. It doesn't relate to anyone else in the room. So, and we'll see that. So that I thought that was interesting to see, because I thought, so hey, these guys are not part of your faction. What are you doing? All right. And both of them are set as unaggressive. All right, let's go ahead and see what happens. So look. Oh.
Science reporting fatal crash. Error attempting to reboot.
Huh.
What are you doing in here?
Oh, we reacted to them. That's funny. I was like, wait. I thought it was, hold on a second. Let me double check here. Security internal. So this guy is unaggressive, but the only thing we have set in here. So I guess they do react to these guys. So I guess they realize, hey, you don't belong in here. Or wait, hold on, let me double check this guy. Oh, the reactions are still set. Remove the reactions. I think that's funny. Hold on, or did I accidentally? Oh. Oh well. Oops, I did the wrong one. Okay, so the combat robots, they don't have a reaction set. So the only, okay. Let's double check. Just double check. Fast forward, guys. So they shouldn't be fighting each other. The only thing that's said in here that, because I thought the faction only reacted to me, but it looks like it's reacting to these two guys as well. Let's find out. All right, back. Let's go in. One more check. If they start fighting each other, we'll move the faction. Okay. Oh, I think I know what I did. I edited the wrong robot first, and then I edited these guys, so now they're not warning each other. Okay, I see what I did. I edited the wrong robot. But now, if he sees me...
You need to leave now.
Okay. Alright, so that's what it was. I freaked myself out. So I think what happened was I edited the wrong robot the first go. Removed their reaction radius, but now I edited the correct one, removed their reaction radius, so these guys are not reacting to him. And since like the only thing that's like creating some kind of reaction is the location, they left it here. They left it at that. So let me go ahead. But yeah, so location doesn't affect other factions. It only relates to you. So let's go ahead and remove that. So that's none. Hit OK. So the location is now set to none. This guy is now going to be an enemy of these guys. So let's set these guys up as enemies. Right, and this is the interesting thing. And like it took a while for me to figure this out. It's like, all right, why aren't you guys fighting each other? I don't understand. So let's go ahead. Let's see. Can I get the factions going? Ramtech faction. All right, cool. So let's edit the faction for the Ramtech. Add new. Let's go ahead and make them allies for each other for one, and then new. Let's go ahead and bring out the robot combats, and these guys are going to be enemies. So that's an enemy there, but they don't know that they're enemies. So let's go to the robot combat faction. Let me just put faction on here too, under name. All right, so zoom in. I'm putting faction in their name, so if I do a search, it'll look up faction here too. So double click on this guy. So enemy, so Ramtech faction, it's already an enemy, cool, ally. Now the thing that's different here for these guys is that they're both unaggressive. And this was something that took me a while. I was like, I don't get it. They're enemies. Why aren't they fighting each other? Because they're unaggressive. They're not going to initiate combat. So let's take a look. Go take one more look-see. And then we'll change that. Fast forward. All right, we're back in. Let's go ahead and see what happens. So they're both unaggressive, even though they're enemies. And we turned off the location faction piece as well. So no one's going to be attacking each other. No one's going to be attacking each other. That's it. So, okay. All love in here, even though we're enemies. We're just peaceful. Now let's go ahead and make, or let's make this guy, or let's bring in a guy that's aggressive. So internal, he's not aggressive, but let's bring in the other NPC. Let's bring in the other NPC, security 001. This guy should be aggressive, right? Let's double check. So yeah, this one's aggressive. So now that, and he's part of the faction too. So he sees these guys, he should start attacking them. Let's go ahead and hit save. And let's go ahead and fast forward. Let's see what happens. We're in. So now Ramtech NPC should attack these robots. That was so fast. Alright, there you go. So you have that going on. Let's make another NPC. that has a weaker weapon. Oh my gosh. So NPC security weak. And then inventory. So I gave him the Ramtech Beowulf, which is totally overpowered. Let's go with another Beowulf. Let's do Beowulf. So there we go. Ooh, sniper, let's just do that. Hey. Create new form. Yes. Okay, so now this guy's aggressive, so he'll initiate the combat, but these guys are unaggressive, but we want them to both fight. Let's have them both fight each other. So last part I want to do here to show the aggression is to make, or not, I want to just make the room robot. I want this guy to fight. So AI data, let's make him aggressive. Did I talk about confidence? So yeah, I mean, you can also mouse over this and see what happens there too. So this is, I like to call this set to be like, how willing are you to fight? Or how, I had a great word for this. How committed are you to fighting? So this is your options here. Just mouse over it. It'll tell you like foolhardy will never avoid or flee from anyone. So that's like ultimate confidence. Brave will avoid or flee from threats only if severely outmatched. Average will avoid or flee from threats if outmatched. Cautious will avoid or flee from threats unless the actor is stronger than the threat. Right? Or cowardly will always avoid or flee from threats. So there you go. So let's have them fight each other. And of course, like once again, aggressive. Attack enemies in sight. Of course, very aggressive. So you have all those options. like we won't explore the other ones because this, like, I think we have demonstrated enough to understand how interfaction relations work. So let's do the last one where they fight each other and give them a little battle royale. Let's do that. All right, in. Let's see how this battle royale works. 1 against 2.
May be nearby. I am beginning the search pattern.
Oh, they're done!
Not responding.
I can't believe that
Shutting
happened.
down.
Hey, Ramtech for the win.
Excuse me.
There you go, guys. So that is your interfaction relations in terms of combat, how that works out. So just FYI, here's something that's interesting to note as well in terms of other reactions or other dialogue pieces or whatever. Like a lot of times you need scripting to create some additional interactions to happen. So like if I wanted, like let's say, like, I mean, this is the perfect example is Crimson Fleet. Let's look at Crimson Fleet. Let's look at their faction. Let's see here. Can I find a faction? Crimson Fleet. Crime faction. Perfect. We look at this. We go into their general, like who's an enemy, who's not an enemy. Like one of the things that you see here is their player faction or their player ally faction. These are enemies as well. So what can happen is that, because like if you know the Crimson Fleet storyline, there's a part where you're able to actually interact with them. What happens there is that at some point they turn you off as enemy, or they make the person unaggressive. So you have all those different options there. It's like, all right, turn off aggression. So that way you can, and turn off enemy. Turn off the enemy player faction, or make the player faction an ally, or make the player an ally or a friend at that current moment, so you can have this interaction. So that's something that's also in play here. Like if you want to have interactions with someone that's an enemy, you want to have a dialogue with them, well, they first need to turn off the enemy interaction, the faction, and also if they're fighting each other, all of a sudden just make them, just don't make them aggressive anymore. So you have that. And then depending on the outcome, and usually this is what happens, depending of the outcome of that conversation, that dialogue, then 1, they turn back on the player faction is an enemy again, and then 2, let's make that character, that actor, aggressive once again. So that's how it works out. So usually that's the interplay, and that's where a lot more scripting comes in, and for the most part it's pretty simple from what I've seen. But yeah, if you really want to have those additional interactions that take place in the game, you're going to have to involve scripting, so that way you can turn things on and off as you go along through your story. So last piece that we want to talk about today is going to be crime. Let's talk about crime. I'm going to look up, this is something I haven't really dug into, but I'm going to give it a little introduction to it, so that way if you want to explore this further, you know where to go. So I'm going to go to the very base level of the UC security. So like they like to use markers as well. So LVL sec asterisk UC. So that's what I'm looking up. LVL asterisk SEC for security asterisk UC, and this is the base model, level security UC. If I double click on this and go to their factions, you will see that they have all this set up. All right, and the main one you want to look up in here is the crime faction UC, and this is how you this is how you can kind of reverse engineer and understand how crime works. So you have all this set up. If you go under the crime tab, you see how this works out. So you, like the UC security, they have 3 different locations. They cover New Atlantis, Sidonia, and Gargaron. I think it was called Gargaron. So this is the track crime option in the crime tab. Now they have the option to attack you on site or arrest you. They usually go to arrest first, and that involves dialogue, and we'll go into that just a little bit. But usually I just have my guys to attack on site. If I ever build a full fleshed out city, then I will start working on setting up an arrest, like crime, if I want to go that route. But that's where they go. That's what happens here. And what they do is they share your crime to a certain set of factions. So here's a list, your faction shared crime list. And these are the people. So in other words, if they notice that crime, they also share the crime with others, and vice versa. So Freestar, of course, this might not deter how they react to you. All right. So some of the crimes will only apply to the UC versus the Freestar, because if I wanted to pay for my bounty, like I would go to Aquila and go to the bounty, what's it called, payment board there to clear out my UC. That's what I would usually do. All right, so something, I'm guessing that maybe even if you're really, really bad, then maybe something you did to UC might cross over to Freestar. I don't know. I'm not sure about those kind of interactions, but they, like, all these guys know. Like you have even Andreja, Barrett, Sam Coe. So you have these guys, like, so if you're really, really bad, they'll start saying, hey, I'm going to start attacking you too. Okay? So that's what it is. The main part, if you want to set up a place where an arrest happens, you need to set up a location. So here is those 3 locations that we mentioned earlier: New Atlantis, Sidonia, and Gargaron. If we double click on the first entry here, you'll see that there's these 4 or 5 places of entry. So 1, you can get arrested in space, or 2, you get arrested on the floor, on the ground. So this is what you need to have set: your prisoner marker, your stolen items container, a stolen cargo container. There's the contraband, the companion weight marker. So if you're arrested, where does your companion weight? And a ship weight marker. So this is where you're, like, if you're arrested in space, this is where your ship will be. All right, so let's take a look at the prison marker. New Atlantis is basically a reference. You can select it in the cell. This is at the UC security office at the prisoner marker. Let's take a look at the marker. That's kind of unique. That's something that we haven't seen. I mean, essentially, it can be any marker you want it to be, but what's cool about this marker is that it has these bars. So that's your prisoner marker. If I double click on this, right, you'll see it's the base marker is already set. So double click on it. It should be popping up soon. I still have my game on. So they edited the reference ID so they can keep track. But yeah, so that's what it is. That's the jail marker. Let me go ahead and exit out of this game. Totally forgot. But yeah, so that's what it is. And the other piece that I'll probably show, because it's in the same area, stolen items container. Like, if I look at this, let's look at this one. I'm already in the cell, loaded up this viewed reference, and it's right there. So it's like right behind you. So that's where all the stolen items will be placed once it's removed from you. And stolen cargo, if we look at the reference here, you can see that, hey, it's at the New Atlantis spaceport in a cargo container. Same thing. Well, yeah, same thing with your ship. It's going to be at the standard docking spot at New Atlantis. And your stolen or your companion weight marker, they place this guy right outside of this cell. So if you exit, you'll have a prisoner mark, companion New Atlantis. You have a New Atlantis marker, but it's a standard X marker heading. So that's the reference ID. That's the actual marker. But that's how that works. So yeah, the other piece that you'll need to reverse engineer is going to be the crime quest. So let's go type in crime. And you'll see in here, so you have all the crime factions, but you also have dialogue crime guards and dialogue crime guard ships. So if you're arrested in space or arrested on the floor, these are the 2 quests that you need to look at. So if I double click on crime guards, right, you'll notice that it grouped a whole bunch of different factions and crimes in here. It's like right here, you have the Ryujin industry guards, so Ryujin security. Yeah, so you have a lot of items here. So this is a part you need to reverse engineer. So you have these different groups. So Ryujin, I'm guessing this is generic, another generic. So yeah, so you have one specific for Ryujin, and I think these 2 guys are just grouped up for all the other crime factions that can arrest you. So the alias is just a guard. So more here. So this the Freestar Embassy in New Atlantis. So you have an arrest set there. Forced greeting scene. I think this is one that's just shared between everybody as well. So you have the Ryujin Industry, the Freestar Embassy, Crimson Fleet Guard Lines, the CFO one, I'm not sure what that one is, ECS Guards, and then you have your default guards, Neon Security. So I'm guessing this might be based on location or faction. Let me double click on one of these. Let me see the Neon Security. So this is the conditions. Get in faction. So this is ES. But why it says Neon Security though? Actor, where the actor is. So yeah, so they have set up the conditions are based on like what's the actor, who is this, who's doing this, who's doing that. So I'm surprised they have Neon Security being talked about when you are a ECS constant security faction. I don't know. But yeah, so this is the one that you need to reverse engineer and be aware of the scripts as well. So you have, dialogue script, I guess that's just a piece. So dialogue, crime guard, quest script. So these are all set. I don't think you need to change anything, but you might need to add like, if you have another crime faction. So Freestar UC, you might need to have like this set here. I don't know. Yeah. So these are all the pieces, like special cases. So you have the Aquila Ashta piece, location type settlement piece. Not sure about that. So yeah, I guess there's an Ashta set in here for a special case, which makes sense. I think that makes sense. Like if you kill, because I'm guessing that they might see if you see, in Aquila. What happens in the quest is you kill some Ashta at the in the city of Aquila. So that means you're killing something. So they might just set a special case where, hey, you're killing something during these during these stages in the quest, between these stages in the quest. If that's the case, do not set crime to that person. I'm guessing that's what's happening. But anyway, this needs to be reverse engineered if you want to explore it further, because I'm probably not going to touch that until the point where I've ever reached the point where I'm creating an entire city. So other than that, guys, that is the end of this tutorial. Just go over interfaction relations, combat AI, not combat AI specifically, more like, yeah, it's still like, what do you call that? Reactions, combat reactions, whatever it is. I realized I didn't explain. There's one part I want to explain there. Hold on, guys. There's one more part I want to explain. Because, like, one thing that I didn't notice here, or forgot to tell you, or go over real quick. In this reaction radius behavior, like, we talked about warn and attack, but there's also these other options. Curious, or flee, or warn and alarm. Alright? So, do you have these options here? Of course, flee. Like, I'm fleeing. I'm running. This is what I'm going to do. Right? If I'm reacting to the player, I'm fleeing. Warn and alarm. I see this player. What I'm going to do? I'm going to start alarming everybody. I'm not going to attack. I'm just going to alarm everybody else. So those are the two other options so that you can play around with too. But that should be it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as everything does help out. Beyond that, guys, if you want to get into the creation series or creation kit for the very first time, be sure to check out the beginning of the creation kit tutorial series, as this will help you get started, figure out how to set up the tools, how to use the basic tools, and all the above. Of course, I've learned a lot more now than where I was back then, but that was the whole idea. It's like learn as I go and share what I know at the same time. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for all the love and support as always. Without you, we just wouldn't be doing what we're doing. So thank you, staying in the hearts. Have an amazing day, guys. More tutorials to come soon. Peace out.